Bonjour French students, welcome to video 9 of chapitre 3, and the topic of this video is la possession et les adjectifs possessifs. So it's possession and possessive adjectives. Often when we hear grammatical terms like that, like possessive adjective, it's like, wait, what's that? Because in English, the language we use every day, we just don't really think about these things. We just use it automatically and naturally, and we do it correctly because it's our first language and it's just natural to us. But when you learn another language, sometimes you kind of need that terminology just to be able to point out different categories of words and what they do. And what it ends up helping you do is understand your own language a lot better. So basically what we're going to be learning about in this video is how you show that you own certain things, or how people own certain things, and how we do that in English versus how we do that in French. So in French, we use a phrase with de rather than an apostrophe s to show that something belongs to somebody. And it's just a different way of doing it. It's a different word order, but both of them are perfectly logical. Okay, so remember in French that de contracts with the articles le and les, and it forms du or des. Okay, it doesn't change when it's followed by la or el apostrophe. L apostrophe. So in this first example sentence, that's my housemate's dog. So to show that the dog belongs to your housemate, you just stick an apostrophe S on this and it's all good. Okay, so you know the dog belongs to your housemate. In French, it's a little different. Instead of using that word order, housemate's dog, we kind of flip it around a little bit. So it's c'est le chien de mon colocataire. So dog comes at the end of the sentence in English, but here we're kind of putting it first in that phrase. So my housemate's dog becomes the dog of my housemate. So the same meaning, just expressed in a different word order. C'est le chien de mon colocataire. Okay, mon, as we're going to find out very soon, means my, and it's the masculine form of my, because colocataire in this case is referring to a male housemate or roommate. So the adjective that comes before that for my is the masculine form. Okay, that's the closet's door. So the door technically belongs to the closet. So that's why we have the apostrophe S there. But in the case of French, we're going to flip the word order on its head, and we're going to say it is the door of the closet. So the door, la porte, du, which would be de plus le placard. You put them together to form the contraction du, la porte du placard. And finally, they are Gabriel's friends' DVDs. We have two possessives in a row here, so we're going to end up having two possessives in our French sentence too. So, ce sont, this is referring to more than one thing. Okay, they are, okay, the DVDs of the friends of Gabriel. So it's really reversing the word order and just showing the same relationship as the apostrophe with the word de or whatever it combines with. So des amis would be de plus les forms des, and then de Gabriel. Okay, so on our next slide here, we're going to see some possessive adjectives, and all that means is that these are words that show something belongs to you, to him, her, or it, to a group of people like our, to a group of plural people like your, or to them or their. Okay, so you see in English, our possessive adjectives are in this left column. So my, your, his, her, its, our, your plural, and their. So all of these words, when you stick them before a noun, it just shows that something belongs to you, to someone else, or to a group of people. But in French, these have different forms. We have one form in English. It's kind of nice, huh? We don't have to learn all of these different forms. And someone who's learning English, this is actually a bonus for them because this is easier than some of the multiple forms you need to learn in a language like French. But that doesn't mean there aren't hard things to learn in English. There certainly are. So for a possessive adjective like my, you have a masculine singular form, which would be mon, so a nasal vowel in that word, mon lit, my bed. Feminine singular, so chambre is a feminine noun, la chambre, so I'm going to need to use a feminine form of the possessive adjective for my before that, and that would be ma chambre. And then we have feminine singular, but let's say this time our noun starts with a vowel, like the noun ami, and this would be the feminine form of ami because we have the E on the end. So it becomes mon ami. Notice the liaison between the two here. So mon ami. Okay, but when we have it in front of a masculine noun like lit, there is not a liaison. It's mon lit, mon ami. Okay, and finally for the plural form, we have the plural masculine noun livre, les livres. So the form of the possessive adjective we need here is mes livres. Okay, and the forms are going to be very similar for the other possessive adjectives. So ton, ta, ton, and te for you. This would be the singular familiar form of you. For his, her, and its, it becomes son, sa, son ami with the liaison, and ses livres. For our and your, okay, we have some other forms here. So we have notre, notre, and notre. It doesn't change from masculine singular, feminine singular, or feminine singular plus vowel. For the plural form, we have nos livres with a silent S. And it's almost identical for votre, which would be for a group of people, maybe males and females mixed. It could be males or females. The form wouldn't change. Or if you are addressing somebody in a formal way, just one person. So that would be votre, 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 and vos livres. And finally, if we are talking about their, so something belongs to a group of people, the forms would be leur, leur lit, leur chambre, leur ami, and leur livre. So even in the plural form, the S is silent. Okay, so that's kind of an overview of all the possessive adjectives. They're easy to use. You just have to remember which one to use with which noun you're talking about. So it agrees with the gender of the noun that you're describing. Okay, so the possessive adjectives mon maman for my, or ton tate for your, which is the familiar form, and son sa ses, his, her, or its, they agree in gender and number with the noun that follows them. It's not the person doing the speaking. Okay, the forms mon, ton, and son are used both before singular masculine nouns and, as I mentioned before, feminine nouns beginning with vowels. Okay, the possessive adjectives notre and nos, or votre and vos, and leur have just two forms, a singular and a plural form. They do not change with gender. Okay, so we have a few example sentences here we can take a look at. J'aime bien votre salon. Oh, I like your salon. Okay. Vos amis passent beaucoup de temps ici. Okay, do your friends spend a lot of time here? So vos amis, your friends. Okay, so this is the plural form that we're using before the plural noun ami. So because ami has an S on the end, I need to use this plural form. Okay, non, en général, nous sommes dans nos chambres. So no, generally, usually, we are in our rooms. So rooms is plural, it's more than one. So I wouldn't use notre here, that would be for a singular noun, like notre chambre. But here I'm talking about more than one chambre, so it's nos chambres. And no is what would tell the listener that I'm talking about more than one room. If I said notre chambre, chambre is pronounced the same, whether it has an S on it or not. But notre would indicate to the listener that I'm talking about one room, nos chambres, more than one room. Okay. C'est la télé de Robert. So in this case, I'm saying, is it the TV of Robert? In English, we would reverse that word order and say, is it Robert's TV? So the apostrophe S is what would indicate that something belongs to him. In French, we express it in a different way. Hey, non, ce n'est pas sa télé. It is not his TV. C'est ma télé. It's my TV. Et ce sont mes DVD aussi. So they are my DVDs also. Okay, and finally we have son, sa, ses, which can all mean his, her, or its. It just really depends on the context. Their use depends on the gender and number of the object possessed, not the person who owns it. That's very important to remember with these. So, c'est son fauteuil. Oh, it is his chair. So, son is the masculine form, but this has nothing to do with him, the man in the picture. It has to do with the chair. Oh, c'est son fauteuil. So if we were saying, for example, it is his room, then it would be c'est sa chambre. I would use sa in that case because it goes along with chambre, not him. Or c'est son fauteuil. So we see here exactly the same kind of example. The chair belongs to the woman, but it has nothing to do with her gender. The gender we need to make the connection with is between the chair and son, the possessive adjective that comes before it. Et c'est aussi son fauteuil. So we're talking here about a dog, and we're still using the same word son. It's also his chair, or its chair, depending on how you want to refer to your dog. Dogs have a gender, so we can refer to them as him or her, or his or her as well. But in every case, we're using son because the noun that comes after is a masculine singular noun. So it has nothing to do with the gender of the owner of the object. Okay, so that is everything for possession and possessive adjectives. We have just one more video coming for the end of this semester, and I'll have that posted within a day or two, and that will be it before exam 4. So I wish you a great evening and a great rest of the week. Bonne nuit!